He's back! And ladies and gentlemen, it wouldn't be a week on Sportswire Radio without him. He is truly the man of Sportswire. At this point, I'm ready to say Sportswire was built on the Lawman Kennedy. He calls himself Mr. Sportswire for very, very good reasons, and he has really pulled something off here that, I mean, a lot of people didn't see coming. Maybe some people didn't see it coming. But I got a lot to get into here with him because he's 6-0. He's undefeated. He's 6-0. He was 5-0 last time we spoke him. Now he's 6-0. So we're finding more and more things to talk about with him on. He is going to now be a part of the 8-person tournament at Nonstop Action Wrestling tomorrow at the Be Strong Performance Fitness Center in Switten, where the doors open at 5:30 p.m. He is going to now have his crack to be the company's first ever champion. We got a good feeling on him because he's undefeated and he's certainly found a way, and he's going to be in the ring with somebody he already holds a victory with. So let's get into it here. So with further ado here on the Sports Report, number one Global Sports Show, pro wrestling star here from Nonstop Action Wrestling. He's undefeated, 6-0. Move over Goldberg, move over Ryback, move over Ultimate Warrior, move over all of them. He is Mr. Sportswire, the Lawman Kennedy. My friend, how are you?
I'm very good, Mr. Bryce. Even better now I'm back with you.
And I'm even better because certainly I didn't know when you were coming back, and you certainly pulled one off here. Some may say one for the ages here, and I've already got tons of comments. And hi, Tom and Kyle Kennedy, and we say hello to you. You related to George Kennedy at all?
No, I'm not.
I was going to say, because I was waiting.
Who knows?
You know, who knows? Listen, I actually used to play basketball when I was a little youngin' with a George Kennedy, but I wasn't a big fan of a George Kennedy then, but I'm a fan of George Kennedy this one here now because he's with us here right now. And Beth Ann Jones, of course, always love having Beth Ann with us here. But we'll get to everybody here in a few minutes. But the Lawman Kennedy, Mr. Sportswire, you have certainly pulled one off here. Certainly the Ric Flair School of ring psychology and tricks and wheeling and dealing. You certainly found a way to pull one here over maybe some in Nonstop Action Wrestling. And you have to talk about it because now tomorrow night, less than 24 hours away, at Be Strong Performance Fitness Center there in Switten, you are now going to be a part of that tournament to crown the company's first ever world-class champion against Conor Cage. And tell us, for those that are listening and watching, on how you pulled this off.
Well, Mr. Bryce, what time is it now? It's
8:16.
Yep. 8:15 over here in the UK. And by this time tomorrow, you will be looking at not only 7, 8, 9-0, you will be looking at the new and inaugural world-class champion. How I pulled this off? Well, it's not just me. It was between myself, Richard Knights, and the wonderful JPR. No one saw this coming. We had it kept under wraps for so long. Not even Tyler and Dante knew. Nobody knew except for us three, and we pulled the wool over everybody's eyes. Little secret here, Mr. Bryce. Last time I was on, the deal was already done, my friend.
I mean, we did talk about you and Connor, but then it was almost kind of like there was a period, I guess what's been about 2 weeks since you came on, a little over 2 weeks, where it was like, it wasn't acknowledged. It was like, I didn't know.
Under wraps, my friend.
Everybody knew.
Believe me, of all people, I wanted to tell you, but just had to keep it hush-hush.
Hey, you're undefeated. Listen, you're undefeated. You're getting requests left and right from wrestling companies. You're getting requests left and right. I mean, you've had wrestlers call you out. Remember, we had you and Slugger Hampton, a top tier in CCW. He was stepping up to the plate against you. Obviously, you and Mr. Angel. I mean, you're a man right now that's got a target on his back right now coming up here at all these companies. I mean, I just rattled off some big-time names and champions and former champions that have been going after you. No question.
Absolutely. It seems so. I mean, I got to face to face with Mr. Angel a few weeks ago at GTM, and I clocked him in the face, and it felt real good. And I look forward to doing that to Slugger sometime down the line, and anyone else that wants to step in the Lawman's way.
Well, I'll tell you what, certainly you had better luck with Goliath. I mean, certainly Goliath, we've certainly heard a lot, but we'll get into him later on. But I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of talk about this, the society and the swarm, and JPR's in, he was out, now you're in. I mean, was this the person you wanted in Conor Cage? I mean, would you have wanted it any other way? I mean, did it have to be this way? I mean, walk me through your thoughts on some of that.
You know, Mr. Bryce, you know, the age-old quote, right time, right place.
Hmm.
And you know what? I couldn't have picked anyone better. It could have been Disciple, and I would have gone on to beat him. Could have been Billy O'Keefe, would have gone on to beat him. Could have been Jackson Arrow, Tommy Dillon, anyone else in the tournament, Leonie Rhodes. I don't mind hitting a woman. Listen, at the end of the day, they are just a little piece of the bricks forging my pathway to glory. So by the end of all of this, it ain't gonna matter. Everything's in the past, and this is the future. The Lawman is the future, and I promise you this, it's only up and on from here.
I'll tell you what, onward and upward, no question about all that. But let me ask you before I get to a comment from Mixed Knights here, and I promise I'll get to Mixed Knights in a second. But I mean, Dante Ocara was the guy that wanted Conor Cage, and we had Dante on here in the past, and I almost have to ask you a question, and you'll probably answer it in the way I think you'll answer it. But what does it say about a Dante Ocara in the fact that he didn't know that this was going to go on, and one of his own JPR was going to make a deal with yourself and the rest of the society? I mean, I have to think if you're Mr. Ocara, I mean, you clearly didn't do your homework. Is that fair to say?
I mean, it's Dante. What can we say? You know, he's not the brightest bulb in the box. For the fact of the matter is, Dante Ocara and Tyler Murphy didn't need to know. Hence why they weren't in the know. It was between myself, Mixed Knights, and JPR. The three proper people who needed to know were in the know. And for the past few weeks, I'd say a month or so, in fact, JPR has been promoted. And for the past month or so, JPR has been out, and Conor Kennedy was in for the past month or so. It's only been recent that it's been revealed. Like I said, pulled the wool over everyone's eyes, and the reasoning for Dante specifically not knowing and Tyler not knowing, they didn't need to know. They don't need to know. Why should they know? They're not on my level. They're not on the society's level. They're lucky to have someone like JPR guiding them.
I definitely I wouldn't disagree with any of that. I mean, certainly, listen, they're lucky to be in the graces of JPR, of course, who was recently the UKW champion there. So certainly good points there. But let me come to Mixed Knights because he has commented, and I'd like to get your reaction toward it. So he says, Mr. Kennedy, I trust you will not disappoint me. Is there anything you'd like to say toward Mixed Knights? Anything?
I will not let you down. I will not let the society down. Anyone. I mean, it's no surprise and it's no hush secret that no one believes I can do this, and it's no surprise and no secret that people believe I've just been shafted into this position because of who I know and who I'm with. Well, it just goes to show the old adage, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So sure, maybe it's because I'm close to management that I'm in the position I'm in, but that's not favoritism. That's smart, my friends. So, Mixed Knights, Remus Kane, Robert Caro, all our other brothers, sisters, MBs, and fellow people within the society around the globe who haven't been made public yet, watching this right now with myself and the wonderful Tom Bryce here on fantastical Sportswire Radio. I will not let you down. I promise you, I will beat down Conor Cage. I will pluck the feathers of the golden goose, golden boy, Conor Cage, and I will humble him. I've noticed and I've realized and I've seen recently, ever since these plebeian fans at every single event chant "Golden Boy," I see that smile and that ego grow just a little bit more. And I know it's ironic that I'm talking about egotism and stuff, but I'm egotistical because I know how good I am. Conor, unfortunately, doesn't. And don't get me wrong, he is very good, but all he needs is guidance. Now, I'm not saying society guidance, but hey, who knows? The door's always open. But, come this Saturday in 12 and a half hours at 8:25 in the evening, your new world-class champion will be me. 9-0 come the end of that event, and the inaugural world-class champion, the lawman, Kyle Kennedy.
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, certainly for Sportswire Radio, I think it would be excellent for business. I think it would be excellent all around because certainly he is Mr. Sportswire. And of course, that streak, listen, I want to keep talking about this streak. As crazy as it sounds, I mean, it's kind of taken a life of its own here. I mean, so I have to ask you because not only are you trying to win the world title, the world-class championship here at Nonstop Action Wrestling, and obviously becoming the first ever champion in the company's history, which is a really, really big deal. I'm sure you've heard everybody speak about that at this point, but you're also trying to keep this streak alive. I mean, I almost feel like in some ways you've got more to gain and more to lose than anybody else in this tournament here. I mean, do you feel the same as well? Because not only are you competing to win that title, but also you're having the streak that everybody spoke about here, I think, for at least the last 3+ months on Sportswire Radio. I mean,
to tell you the truth, you're right. I have a lot on my shoulders, but I'm a big boy and there's a lot of room on these shoulders. So whether it's a streak, whether it's a championship, anything, whether it's my fellow faction members of the society, whether it's NSAW as a whole and any other promotion which I've been in, I carry everything with a weight on my shoulders with the utmost pride and passion and drive that is not normal to any other man alive.
I'll tell you what, I agree.
Yeah. I love wrestling. I love NSAW. I love beating people up and I love hurting people, but I will love everything just that little bit more and that much sweeter. Not if, but when I win tomorrow.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you still want to go out and watch the Lawman Kyle Kennedy, you can go to NSAW Wrestling UK on Instagram. You can also like their page on Facebook here. Also join the Nonstop Action Wrestling Universe group. Also join on YouTube as well, where you can watch NSA Asylum matches. You can also watch many, many, many other shows from the past from Nonstop Action Wrestling. Also, you can also join on Twitter as well, NSA Wrestling _UK, and find out why the Lawman, Mr. Kyle Kennedy, Mr. Sportswire, is going to be the first ever Nonstop Action Wrestling world-class champion, and why he is also going to remain undefeated and not only be 7-0, 8-0, but 9-0. And it's always good to have him back on here. And let's come back to Conor Cage for a second, because I feel like Conor Cage right now, like you said, and I heard the chants, I've seen the last 3 matches he's had. He's beaten Ocara, he's beaten Cerebral Steve. I mean, he's got some big, big wins. Killjoy, who we had on last week. So he's on a run right now. There's no question he's on a run. But when you guys faced off in the past, the Lawman Kyle Kennedy won that match, Mr. Sportswire. So I feel like in a lot of ways here, Mr. Sportswire, that going into this match with Conor Cage, this was brilliant. This was genius because you've already been in the ring with Conor Cage and you've already beaten him. So it should be no problem. Now it should be 2-0 against him. So for me, I feel like even though Conor Cage is on a run, he's got a couple of wins over Dante Ocara. He's beaten Cerebral Steve, one half of the tag team champions over in UKW. And of course, Killjoy was on last week. I feel like you're the guy that's beaten him and you've knocked him down. So you know what to do. So I think this was a brilliant move.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not that hard to beat Dante. My 3-year-old nephew could beat Dante. But listen, from Mikey Future to Pride and Goliath to Champ Rogers to Conor Cage, the list will keep going. And it's incredible that Conor Cage has beaten the people he has. But trust me, in that little dark match that we had a few months back, you know, when the lights were off and the room was cold, I had the advantage. And just like tomorrow for Fire and Gold, when the lights are bright and the room is hot, I will still have the advantage. He's got nowhere to hide. That whole crowd can be chanting Golden Boy for 10, 15, 20, 30, so on minutes. The fact of the matter is, Conor cares for those people. He feeds off those people. I do not. That's where me and Conor Cage are very different people. He goes out there to hype up and amp up the crowd and say, "Hi guys, I'm gonna do this for you." And I go out there, I get in those ugly mugs' faces and I tell them to off and all these other words that I can't say because it's the PG family show. But you get the gist. I'm an aggressive, angry man, and I will slap your grandma in the face to get where I want to be. And that is on top. Golden Boy Conor Cage cannot and will not do that. He doesn't have that killer instinct that I have. And that is why tomorrow he will fail. And the Golden Boy, his golden lust, will dissipate like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, look at the size of Mr. Sportswire, Kyle Kennedy, the lawman. Look at the shape he's in right now. He's in the best shape of his life. He's in his prime. He hasn't even gotten into his prime yet. Look at what he's done so far. Look at his record of accomplishments here. He's got the biggest streak here in all of professional wrestling. He's 6-0, and I do have a comment in here, which I'm going to get to. That is, of course, Mr. Dante Ocara, who was the last one to wrestle Conor Cage. And obviously, he's been, I guess, taking a break now from drawing me in WWE 2K games. So we'll see what Mr. Ocara has to say. And he says, "I'll definitely be watching when Cage breaks that streak, 6-1." You ever thought on that?
I mean, he'd know what it's like to lose to Conor Cage, and he'd know what it's like to be a loser. I don't. And unlike the very slim likelihood that Conor Cage manages to best me, I will stick out my hand and say, "Well done, kid." Unlike Goliath, when he loses, he goes crying and runs away because he lost to the oh-so-holy one. I will face Conor man-to-man and shake his hand if there's a very small chance he finds that little killer instinct to muster up and beat me. Because I'm a man, I'm the lawman, and he's the boy, the golden boy. And this is professional wrestling. This is a man's world. And come tomorrow, Conor Cage and his golden goose, golden boy feathers will be plucked by yours truly.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, these are reasons why you would want to follow Kyle Kennedy on Facebook. Like his page, join it. Also, Lawman K. Kennedy on Twitter, Mr. Justice Kyle Kennedy on Instagram. Also, that YouTube page, one of the premier YouTube pages around for any professional wrestler that I know. So make sure you subscribe, follow, and like all his great pages. And Mr. Ocara says, "Cage pinned me clean, and I'll give him that. Conor has my respect," which is a different tune than what Mr. Ocara was singing about a month ago when he was on the air. So, I mean...
Because he's an idiot. He's an absolute moron. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just like the rest of the plebeians in the audience. He should be in the audience. He should not be in that ring. He doesn't have the ring acumen and the smarts. Hence why he always hurts himself and loses and breaks things and is just an utter failure in life. He does not belong in that ring. Hence why every time he stepped up to someone like Conor Cage, who rightfully so Dante with, I'll give him his credit, he's good, but he's not Golden Boy good, and he's certainly not Lawman good. He is good, I'll give him that. But someone that he should beat so easily, like Conor Cage, and he loses to him not once, but twice, and probably thrice in the future. Because he's got this weird stalkerish DDP Undertaker's wife thing going on with, if it's not Conor Cage, it's Sammy Blue.
It is a little strange, I have to say. It is a little strange.
It's
I
a
hadn't
lot
thought of it that
strange.
way, but now that you said it, yeah, it's kind of strange.
So, when it comes to it, Golden Boy Conor Cage has my respect now because he's a damn good wrestler. Dante Ocara doesn't now and nor never will have my respect.
Okay, and Mr. Ocara, who of course is definitely, for whatever reason, fired up tonight. He has definitely joined us here and has a lot on his mind. He says, because I know how tough the Golden Boy is, and as he beat me, now how many times have you beat me, Kyle?
How many times have I beat you? I've not stepped in the ring with you, but trust me, I'd make easy work of your scrawny little ass. Trust me, in the mood I'm in and how fired up I am to be on the show.
And it looks like Mr. Sportswire there, we lost him there for a second. So we hope that Mr. Sportswire joins us back here, and certainly a lot to get into. And while we recap, as we wait for Mr. Sportswire, the Lawman Kennedy, to return, because technical difficulties do happen here, it has now been announced that Nonstop Action Wrestling Fire and Gold, upcoming tomorrow night at the Be Strong Performance Center in Swinton. We will see an 8-person tournament here. It will be Conor Cage versus the Lawman, Kennedy. We'll also see Champ Rogers versus the wild card Tommy Dillon, Billy O'Keefe, and Jackson Arrow, plus much, much more action. I have another comment in here and says, too angry for transmission. Well, I don't know. I mean, these things do happen. For whatever reason, that's the beauty or not so beauty of technology, where these things happen kind of more than we would like, or more often than not here. And Mr. Ocara says, because your society knows you step with the swarms hellbound, I will leave not only you, but also all of them embarrassed, the Lawman. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's an interesting point that Mr. Ocara brings up. But I mean, Mr. Ocara, I would have to ask you, as we wait for Kyle Kennedy, I mean, why didn't you know that JPR made this deal? I mean, how do you feel about what JPR did to you? I mean, how do you feel? I mean, how do you feel about JPR making the deal with the society? I mean, that's the question I would certainly ask myself. And Conor Cage, of course, who's the man going to be across the apron from Mr. Sportswire, the Lawman, Kyle Kennedy, chimes in here. And Kyle, this tournament wouldn't mean anything if I didn't face the very best. So I do look forward to this more than you could possibly know. Hey, I tell you what, give him his due here. Conor Cage has been on a big, big run here. He's got 2 wins against Dante Ocara. He's got a win against one half of the UKW Tag Team Champions from the Playtime Mafia. That's Cerebral Steel. Also win against Killjoy. And we will certainly have an announcement here in a little while relating to Killjoy and Goliath. You won't want to miss this announcement. I promise you, it is going to be worth an announcement that you're going to want to stick around for here as we await the return of Mr. Sportswire, Kyle Kennedy. And he's back. Listen, was Dante Ocara trying to play with your Wi-Fi there? Was somebody else, was Tyler Murphy trying to play around with it? I mean, as long as you're all right there, Mr. Sportswire.
Oh, good. I seemingly just, not only that did I overheat, but my phone overheated too.
Well, that happens to me all the time. And while you left, Conor Cage has popped up mysteriously here, and he says, Kyle, this tournament wouldn't mean anything if I didn't face the very best. So I do look forward to this more than you could possibly know.
Oh, trust me, I very much, as I've said, I respect you, Conor. You know, you're an incredible wrestler. You have all the talent in the world, but it's just a shame you don't know how to use it. You know, if you didn't become people's favorites, unlike me, where I know what you're going to say. Hang on, you reached into management and you have Richard Knights and made a deal with so-and-so. Yeah, I did, but again, that's ring smarts, that's ring acumen, that's brains. Unlike Conor Cage, who has these people fooled and clearly is a favorite of people, And I don't get it. I don't know why this is a thing in wrestling. It shouldn't be people's favorites. It should be the best of people that get chosen. You know, people like John Cena and Hulk Hogan weren't particularly the best wrestlers, but they were always the favorites. And that's what used to always pee me off. And I stopped waiting. I've stopped being held back and at the back of the line, and I've decided to start taking. Hence why myself and Richard Knight's approached to JPR and made this deal. And JPR's end of the deal, that's not for me to say. That's for JPR to know and to reveal whenever he wishes to. So, yeah, the reason I'm in this tournament is because I'm damn good and I'm damn smart about my choices.
And I'll tell you what, you're undefeated as well, so certainly can't argue with any of that here. And Mr. Ocara says, because I had asked him a question about JPR and basically his relationship with JPR, and I had asked him, I said, I mean, what does that say about the fact that you didn't know? JPR didn't tell you. I mean, how does that impact you and Mr. Murphy? And he said in response, what JPR does in his own time is none of my concern. My only job, win or lose, is to hurt people. I lost to Conor, but I definitely hurt him. But Conor's standing right now. Conor's in the tournament, though. That's the thing here. And Mr. Ocara also jumps in here. But bottom line is Kyle Kennedy's in the tournament. You're welcome. And
he's got nothing to... Oh, you're welcome. He's got nothing to do with this.
Obviously, because he didn't win. And you know what? Even if he won anyway, you were still in the tournament.
I mean, to be
fair, you were still in the tournament.
The deal was still on. Win or lose, Dante was just chomping at the bit to get his hands on Conor Cage and lose again.
And I'll tell you what, if you would have faced Dante Ocara, it's advantage you.
Absolutely.
Listen, that would have been free. To me, this is not about Dante Ocara. You got in no matter what. To me, this is more about the fact, in my opinion, about Swarm members not having the same relationship that society members have. You, DeCaro and Remus, you guys are like brothers. You guys are stronger than ever. I look at it right now with Ocara and JPR. I mean,
we've taken over 4 companies: GTM, Black Heart Wrestling, NSAW, and UKW. What have the Swarm done? What has Dante or Tyler Murphy done of note? Nothing. Nada. Nicht. Nil. Nine. Nout. What's Kyle Kennedy done? Appeared in Black Heart Wrestling. Punched Gareth Angel in the face and debuted at GTM. Undefeated in NSAW. And watch my brothers in arms dominate at UKW. And that'll soon be me in there. And then tomorrow, your new and first ever inaugural world-class champion. And right there, as Lawrence Breeze says, Cage is going to face the best and lose to the best. Kennedy for the win. And you're damn right, because I am the best. I'm the most damn deserving in this entire company, damn it. And the fact that I wasn't even the first announced, but the fact I wasn't even announced at all really burns my piss. And the fact, and I apologize for using that language there, Mr. Bryce, but the fact that you have people outside of this company who aren't even NSAW coming in to win an NSAW title, that is disrespectful to me. There was only 2 NSAW people announced for this tournament for an NSAW World Championship. Head trainer Tommy Dillon and Golden Goose Conor Cage. Where was Kyle Kennedy, the undefeated Lawman? Huh? Where was anyone else in NSAW? Nowhere to be seen. People like me are once in a generation. People like me should be put to the front of the line, and yet people like me are held back because other people see me as a threat, and they should, and they will see that tomorrow at Fire and Gold.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this sounds like the first ever non-stop action wrestling world-class champion in the Lawman, Mr. Sportswire, Kyle Kennedy. He is now on a whole new level. he recapped it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Blackheart Wrestling, we've seen him. GTM, we've seen him. We're going to see him in UKW. We've seen him, obviously, here where he's gone 6-0 and he's been undefeated. And I would not want to be Conor Cage right now. I would not want to be Tommy Dillon, Champ Rogers, Billy O'Keefe, Leone Rose, Jackson Arrow, or anybody else that's in this tournament. Because right now,
I don't want to be them either. Trust me.
Oh, I would want to be. Listen, the playtime is over. The parties are over. The Lawman Kennedy's coming in here. And it doesn't matter how they announced it. It doesn't matter how they did it. At the end of the day, my money right now is on Mr. Sportswire, Kyle Kennedy. I mean,
Can I just say something?
Absolutely, before I get to some comments.
Do you know what they had for me? And I don't care if I'm breaching a contract or exposing anything, but you know what they had planned for me for Fire and Gold?
Tell us.
They were going to chuck me in some nonsensical, irrelevant battle royal. You do not stick your undefeated beast in a damn battle royal. You stick me in the first match of the night or the main event. You do not stick me where I can just chuck everyone over the ropes like that. That's easy.
And that's your ring, by the way. This is your ring. This is your house here in Nonstop Action Wrestling. To do something like that, listen, ladies and gentlemen, that seems like that's a cruel joke that will be played on Mr. Sportswire, Kyle Kennedy, because that seems like that somebody watched the Rumble in GTM and wanted the entire locker room to get him out, because they know at the end of the day, one-on-one, nobody has beaten this man. Nobody has even come close. Despite what some may say, despite what Joshua Snow has said on commentary, it doesn't matter, because the last I checked in the record books, Mr. Sportswire, the Lawman Kyle Kennedy, he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-0, and he's got a very, very good chance to be 7, 8, and 9-0 and be the first ever Nonstop Action Wrestling World Class Champion. Let me get to a few more comments. Mr. Ocara, who's perpetually certainly going to give us as much words as possible, it says, now Cage has a giant target on that arm, Lawman. You might actually stand a chance. And then Beth Ann Jones says, Dante versus Kyle down the line for sure to shut his mouth, maybe. But I think you might be the world-class champion, though. I think you're going to have a lot bigger fish to fry. I think that when you're the world-class champion at this time tomorrow night, I think the focus is going to be on how you're going to represent this company and lead this company to even bigger highs all around the world here. And Jenny Hayes, the rock idol of the UK, huge shout out to Jenny as always, gives the eyeballs. And also Mr. Ocara says, well, for one, I broke the arm of Mikey Future. Don't worry, Kyle. I'll be there to hand you a water when you lose and walk through the curtain broken and beaten. Jenny Hayes also says, Mr. Lawman needs a Snickers, but jokes aside, good luck for tomorrow. All right, I guess. Do you want a Snickers, by the way?
I'm more of a Mars kind of guy.
All right. Yeah, Mars are good. Yeah, Mars are good. Yeah.
Or a Crunchy. I'll take a Crunchy.
Well, just don't do the ones that Conor Cage has been trying to play on JPR.
Yeah, I'm not one for bounties myself, unfortunately.
Yeah, I kind of after saw that, I'm like, well, I'm not going to go there. But Mr. Ocara says, I'm down to make that 6-2. But I'll repeat it again. Mr. Sportswire's got bigger fish to fry. He's in the world-class title tournament. I would have to say, let's see what happens. Stay tuned. And Beth Ann, I think you've summed it up here best. It's a more ruthless Kyle Kennedy here, folks. That's right. It is a harder, it's aggressive, and it's a bigger and stronger here Kyle Kennedy. I think Lawrence Breeze, by the way, shout out to Lawrence Breeze, by the way. I want to give a huge shout out to Lawrence Breeze for all the great things that he does. I love Lawrence Breeze. I am a big fan of Lawrence Breeze, and what an honor it was to have on Shelby Sinar a few days ago. Does a great job with Blackheart Wrestling. She does some ring announcements. She's got great pipes, and she's been a great champion all over the place. And also is right now as we speak doing commentary for UKW and their Friday Night Showdown show, which I'm sure Tommy Dillon is a part of. He was in the Hardcore Championship match there against Henry Winter. And Mr. Breeze says, luck is for losers. The Lawman doesn't need luck. He's got the society. I couldn't agree more. Listen, hope and luck, that ain't going to work in life. That's all smoke and mirrors. He don't need luck. Look at this man. Look at him. There's nothing more else to say. Pride has joined in because Pride obviously always seems to be around. And Pride has a feeling that given how long you lasted in GTM, they didn't want to risk someone of your stature being removed. What? 2 minutes after entrance, Pride has more work to do first, but a one-on-one between us is on the horizon. No win to steal. Next fight. It seems like everybody's going after you. All companies all over here in the UK,
The
Mr.
more the
Sportswire.
merrier. If Pride wants to step back in that ring with me and get whooped once more, that's fine. If Dante wants to get ripped apart by an angry grizzly bear, let him. If anyone else in this business wants to step in the ring with the hottest commodity right now, be my guest. Because in the mood I'm in, I was happy as Larry when I first joined, but people like Dante Ocara know how to really get under your skin.
He's pushing your buttons tonight. He is clearly pushing your
Absolutely.
buttons.
And being Dante Ocara, that doesn't take much. But I just wish he had as much pride in hygiene as he does trying to piss people off. But it's a shame because, like I said before I left unceremoniously, he has all the talent in the world, but he doesn't have the brains to figure out how to use it.
That sounds like he's what they call an enigma. He's an enigma. He's somebody that he's got the tools on paper. He looks like he should be the guy, but right now he's
I'll
on
give
the
him his
outside.
due. Yeah.
And Pride says, does the society hold you back, or do you hold the society back? That's an interesting play on words there.
That is redundant and ridiculous and incredibly ignorant. Look what we've done and look what we've accomplished and where we've been. 4 multiple wrestling promotions dominated and ransacked like that. No one holds anyone back. We are a brotherhood. We are a society. We are the society for a reason. We build each other up. We have each other's backs, arm in arms. I have Robert DeCaro's. Robert DeCaro has mine. I have Remus Kane's. Remus Kane has mine. I have Richard Knight's. Richard Knight's has mine, and vice versa. We are the society. We are on the rise, and everyone else is on the downfall. And once we come to you, once we find you, you will be sorry you ever greeted with us.
I can't disagree with any of that here. And let me get to some more comments, and I definitely agree here. Anyone who underestimates the Lawman needs to give their head a wobble. Yeah, listen, you don't want to underestimate the Lawman, Conor Kennedy. That's all I'm going to say. Anybody, if you're going to be in the ring with them, let me give you some advice, some friendly advice. Don't underestimate the Lawman, Mr. Sportswire, Conor Kennedy. And Mr. Ocara says, hell, Kyle, I'll admit you're good, but keep your boys behind the curtain, and I'll do the same. Let's make history, Mr. Justice. Yeah, but again, though, I continue to say it, but JPR, he didn't speak to Ocara.
Doesn't need to. He clearly doesn't respect them.
He doesn't. Listen, that's my
nobody
point.
does.
The Swarm, listen, it don't seem to be as tight as a society. I think that's, to me, what I've learned here. And the Lawman with the facts here. And I got a good one here from Lawrence Breeze. And who would you prefer to face after you smash through Conor Cage? That's an excellent question, because I was actually going to ask you that question. So Lawrence Breeze clearly could do my job any day of the week.
That's a fantastic question, because who would I want to face? Because no one wants to face me. Why would they want to? Why would be that stupid to? So who would I want to face? Anyone and everyone. I love a fight. Give me Gareth Angel. I'll show him the true holy guidance.
No, Jack Johnson. He's the champion right now. We want Jack Johnson. Because listen, you and Jack Johnson, you would dispose of him in 2 minutes. Forget about Ocara. You and Johnson? Forget about that. I mean, I would throw. Listen, Gareth ain't. Listen, you know what? Take them both on. You'll do what Roman Reigns did at WrestleMania
Well,
last year to Edge and Daniel Bryan. You'll stack them. You'll stack them both. You know what? Let's give you Gareth Angel and Jack Johnson in
you know,
GTM for the
that,
title, and you'll
that's
stack them
easy
both,
work for
Mr.
me.
Sportswire.
That's easy work for me, but I like a challenge. And, you know, whether it be a Sedgwick or an Angel or a, I don't know, a Rabbit or a Rampage Brown
Jack
or a...
Bartley in CCW. I'll throw Ryan Hunter out there in Odyssey Pro Wrestling. Reynaldo in the LWF. Any champion out there,
Anyone.
Cubit and KOW. You'll knock them all down, Mr. Sportswire. Forget about all
Absolutely.
those names. They don't stand a chance.
Come find me. You know where I am. Swinton, South Yorkshire at the Be Strong Fitness Centre. Come find me for a good old-fashioned ass whooping.
I can't wait, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I cannot wait for all. I'll even throw Rarebit in the BTW title. Forget all those champions because they don't hold a candle. Like Elton John famously sang, "Candle in the Wind." They would be candles in the wind to Mr. Sportswire, Kyle Kennedy, because just like a candle in the wind, they would disappear and the candle would blow out. And those wrestlers, their time would definitely run out here. And I have another.
All people are in the past. I'm the future. I'm on the up. It's time for these old dinosaurs to go away, and you know it's time for the future to rise. It's time for the lawman to cometh, and the lawman is here, and he wants a fight, and he's ready to fight. And once I win the world class championship tomorrow, hell, I'll do a John Cena. I'll throw out an open challenge, and everyone and anyone from any company around the globe can come to me, or I'll go to them. And as you said, Romanesque, I will smash them and stack them and leave nothing but a pile of bodies and rubble.
I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, you name a champion, and I'll repeat it again. I don't care if you're Ryan Hunter in Odyssey Pro Wrestling, Reynaldo in the LWF, Rarebit in BTW, Jack Johnson in GTM. I don't even care if you're Wrestling Championship Entertainment, James Marshall. I don't care. Any champion, whoever the champion may be, compared to this man, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to hold the championship that's going to matter most. That is the nonstop action wrestling world-class championship. And not only is he going to be the champion, he's going to be in the record books forever as the first ever nonstop action wrestling world-class champion. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a man on a mission, and best of luck tomorrow, Mr. Sportswire, Mr. Justice, the lawman, Kyle Kennedy, for the win, the first ever NSAW world-class champion. Rise the society. Absolutely could not agree more, my brother. And you're good, Mr. Justice. However, you have seen how dangerous I can be when I'm given the chance to show how good I am. I will give you a fight, Mr. Kennedy. Kennedy, I don't care about titles, just you and me in that ring. But you know what, Mr. Dante Ocara? I got all that. But we're going to move on here shortly because I've heard about Dante Ocara, but right now it's about Kyle Kennedy. So that's the way I see it.
It's about asleep there for a second.
All right.
I don't do charity work, Dante, so I don't need to fight you. It's an easy day at the office. You're not dangerous. You're not sadistic. You're a little twiglet, little dweeb. I would put you over my knee and I would snap you in half. I would grab your pinky finger and it would crush under my mighty force. I would grab you by the hair and it'd pull out. I'd grab you by the throat and you'd struggle to breathe. You are not on my level. You're lucky to be with JPR. And it's a shame you don't realize that. So if you don't realize how lucky you have it with JPR and the Swarm, you sure as hell do not deserve to be in NSAW or a wrestler, let alone step in that ring with one of the hottest commodities in wrestling right now, the lawman, Kyle Kennedy. And he can bark and barb and be the little puppy hound dog and the, ooh, I'm the hellhound. Ah, I'm Dante Ocara. Grr. I'm sadistic. I'm scary. The only scary thing about me, though, is that I don't My teeth are yellower than the sun. Grr. I'm a little twig. Grr. I'm a hellhound. I'm grr. Woof, woof, you're a puppy. You're a little puppy dog. And if I ever stepped in the ring with you, I will have to do what, unfortunately, old, battered down dogs have to be done. I would put you down. You are not on my level. You are not worthy of my time. You are lucky that Tom's even saying your name, let alone me.
Well,
Tommy's on a higher level than you. That's how this is. And Tom's not even a wrestler. And he's on a higher ratio than you, Dante. You're lucky either of us are saying your name. Dante, hellhound, scary, sadistic. Shut up. You weak, pathetic little boy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, certainly very, very strong words here for Mr. Sportswire, Conor Kennedy here, as we've got a few more minutes here with them. And I wanted to break it because I promised a breaking news announcement that I'll have here regarding Nonstop Action Wrestling is next week at this time, 8 o'clock. We'll be having a face-off between Goliath, who's finally come out, I guess, of his hibernation, and he's going to be facing off with Killjoy, who all of a sudden it's a new Killjoy. Killjoy's it's a new and improved Killjoy. Killjoy seems like
that kid.
It's a new kid. I like him. He's got a new look. He's different. He's got some attitude. He's got some spunk now. I mean,
that's what Conor Cage could be if he had that killer instinct. Killjoy is what Conor Cage could be, because Killjoy is a very smart, very intelligent man. So
I'll tell you what, and we're going to get him literally less than 24 hours before he gets a face-to-face with Gareth Angel. And something tells me here, Killjoy is going to know a lot more what he's doing than Goliath, because Goliath, I mean, everyone knows what they're doing more than Goliath. Even Dante knows what he's doing more than Goliath, and that's the only nice thing I'm going to say about him. Good point.
I hope Killjoy crushes Gareth's face just like I did at GTM.
I'll tell you what, we're looking forward to that. It'll be 8 o'clock next week here, Friday on Sportswire.
We'll be tuning into that, Mr. Bryce.
I'm looking forward. This one, when both camps reached out, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be good, because Goliath, I mean, who knows what's on his mind? We're surprised he even wants to come on. And Killjoy said he can't wait. Killjoy said he's bringing his A game. He said he's going to make sure that he makes an example Friday night for Mr. Goliath, so Mr. Angel can see what he's going to be up against. So, boy, Killjoy said he's going to make Goliath an example Friday for Mr. Angel to see that he does not know what he's dealing with. So, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait for this. But I've got a great one here from Lawrence Breeds, and I want to give Lawrence a nice shout-out here. Who would you like to beat in the finals? O'Keefe, Arrow, or Champ and Dillon? Because I'm going to unfortunately skip over the Rose Disciple match, but I will tell you, though, O'Keefe and Arrow, Champ or Dillon. Anybody you refer to in that?
I've beat Champ. It'd be awesome to step back in the ring with him. Billy O'Keefe is incredible. Incredible. I'll be honest, I'm jealous of that kid. I mean, he's a handsome fella, and he's got all the talent in the world. Jackson Arrow, another incredible talent. Tommy Dillon, though, that holds a special place, because what is it when you're a professional wrestler? There's two things in this business you want to do, and that's face your head trainer, face the man that trained you, and become a champion. Now, if I could do both of that tomorrow, I could retire. It'd be an honor. Tommy Dillon is one of the most underrated, underutilized men in this business. And it's ridiculous that no one's put any stock in how good Tommy Dillon is. Tommy Dillon doesn't even realize how good Tommy Dillon is. And this is coming from me, a mean, mugging, grumpy, miserable SOB like Kyle Kennedy. So it would be a pleasure to step in the ring.
You do not, I've known you a while now, you do not give credit too often there.
Exactly. So it'd be an honor to step in the ring with Billy O'Keefe. It'd be a pleasure to step in there with an incredible talent like Jackson Arrow. It'd be wonderful to beat Champ Rogers again. But you know what? The man that trained me and taught everything that I know thus far, the wildcard Tommy Dillon, you know what? As a cold-hearted cynic I am, it would be really emotional. I'm sure of it. But it would be a wonderful victory. And it would be nothing short of just awe-inspiring, not only to face my head trainer, but to beat him in the final and become the first ever world-class champion. So do you know what? I mean, I don't really need to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's absolutely the choice for me would be Tommy Dillon, no doubt.
And I'll tell you what, that would be an excellent, excellent main event here. And certainly I agree with almost everything you said on the wild card Tommy Dillon. Just such a phenomenal wrestler and does so much. And he's a guy that really should have much more success. But he should not hold that Nonstop Action Wrestling World Class Championship, because we've pretty much here on Sportswire, we're going with the man that is, of course, Mr. Sportswire, and also says it makes sense. Dillon can't win the big match. Yeah, I mean, it almost reminds me of, like, I was watching the Lex Luger documentary, and it's almost like how Lex Luger couldn't quite win the big one. He had a couple of cups of coffee with the world titles, but could never quite win that main event match. And Tommy Dillon's he's always there. He's a great wrestler. He's had some big matches, but will it be his time?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out.
And you know what? It'd be like the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair moment. I'm sorry, I love you, but I have to do this.
That would be nice of you to say that. Clearly, you would be a gentleman.
Absolutely. Like I've said, I may be a cold-hearted cynic, but believe me, I can be a nice guy when I want to be. It's just a shame that most of the time I'm a miserable SOB. But when it comes to my brethren of the society, there's a chosen few people that I respect and I admire in this world, other than my lovely lady, my nephew, my parents, and yourself, Mr. Bryce, and my society brethren.
I'm a little guy, trust me. I'm a little guy compared to those important people.
No, but you've given me this platform to speak. No one else has given me this before. No one ever trusted me. I'm like CM Punk. Once you give me a mic, you're going to start to worry about what I'm going to say.
You bring us ratings, my friend. Listen, you bring us ratings. You bring us viewers. I mean, so to me, listen, I just go with what the people want. And the people want Mr. Sportswire, Kyle Kennedy. The people want to hear. They want to see you. You are certainly a larger-than-life figure, and you are an attraction. So you definitely, to me, you check off all the boxes of a world champion. So, I mean, in wrestling, they always say when you look for a world champion, what do you look for? You look for somebody that's larger than life. You look for somebody that can draw. You look for somebody that can bring people new heads and new listeners, new followers, and you do all those things. So I think it's clearly, to me, a no-brainer that you're going to win this championship tomorrow night. And Pride says, in all honesty, Lawman, best of luck in Fire and Gold. You'll need it. We all will. The talent is somewhat terrifying. Pride is glad we are not in the running for the tournament currently. You never want to fight your trainer. Maybe they didn't show you everything they know. Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll certainly see. And those are some words here. But before I get to closing thoughts, I want to ask you two questions. I think the two questions are going to be on the minds of people. The first I want to ask you is, what is your final words to Conor Cage before tomorrow night?
Good luck. Good luck. I want you to find that killer instinct. I want you to hurt me just as bad as I'm going to hurt you. I want you to want this more than I do, and trust me, I want it a hell of a lot. I not just want this, I damn well deserve this. I wasn't even announced for the tournament. I wasn't even in the running. And here I am. I've proven people wrong my entire life. And me and you, Connor, we're from the same hometown, Halifax, West Yorkshire. I'm a damn proud Yorkshireman, and I'm a damn proud Brit, and I'm a damn proud society member, and I'm a damn good professional wrestler. You ain't gonna find anyone hotter, better than me right now, on the mic, in the ring. So good luck, Connor. Good luck. That's all I've got to say.
And these are reasons also, ladies and gentlemen, why you want to follow Nonstop Action Wrestling on YouTube, on Facebook, also Twitter, NSA Wrestling _UK, also NSA Wrestling UK on Instagram as well, and also Lawman Kennedy on Twitter, Mr. Justice Kyle Kennedy on Instagram, and also like his Facebook page. I want to ask you this last question before closing thoughts, and I want to ask you what would it mean to you to not only win the Nonstop Action Wrestling World Class title, but also be the company's first ever NSAW World Class Champion? What would that mean to you?
Vindication, Mr. Bryce. I'm the guy that wasn't wanted. I'm the guy that shouldn't be here. But I am. I'm the guy that's been proving people wrong from day one. I should have been in this tournament from day one. And you know what? I'll give him his credit. So should Conor Cage. As for anyone else other than Tommy Dillon, not so sure about that. And that's a shoot. I love this business. I love NSAW. And I cannot think anyone outside of myself, Tommy Dillon, and sure, throw in Conor Cage there, that deserves this moment right now. I love this business. I love being in that ring. I love hurting people, and I love it when I get hurt right back. I deserve this. I damn well deserve this for someone that has been kicked and put down their entire damn life. For someone that was told, no, you're not wanted. No, you're not in this tournament. No, we're just going to throw you in some irrelevant little battle royal. You'll just be another little body in there for people to toy with and boo and disrespect like everyone else has my entire career and life. So you're damn right, I deserve this. And whether it's Conor Cage, Leonie Rose, Disciple, Billy O'Keefe, Jackson Arrow, Champ Rogers, or Tommy Dillon, you do not deserve this, and you have not earned this more than I have, and you do not want this more than I do. I am the lawman, Kyle motherfucking Kennedy. And I promise not to anyone but myself, because it's time I was selfish. I promise myself that tomorrow, either way, I end tomorrow evening, August 13th, with everyone talking about Kyle Kennedy, just like they always should be and always will do.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty clear to us here tonight on Sportswire Radio that the first ever Nonstop Action Wrestling World Class Champion is going to be Mr. Sportswire, the lawman, Kyle Kennedy. And I'm going to go on the record and say this here as the host of the Sports Report, the station manager here of Sportswire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryce. I'm so confident that Mr. Sportswire is going to win this championship that we're going to bring him back on right after he wins the championship this coming week. So we're going to make it happen. We'll figure out the day and time, but he's going to be our first champion. We're going to get him on. We can't wait to see that belt. We can't wait to see it on his waist. We can't wait to see it on his shoulders because he looks like a champion. He is going to be a champion, and we cannot wait to bring him back onto Sportswire Radio. So we're going to make that happen here, that he is going to come on right after he wins this championship here. So certainly all exciting things ahead here. And my last comment before we get to closing thoughts, pride likes the sentiment from the heart. We love you, Kyle, you beautiful flower. We just wish you would use your heart to help others. Well, that's the eye of the beholder. That's certainly in the eye of the beholder, but certainly a lot to get into here. He's a very, very busy man, Mr. Sportswire Kyle Kennedy, because he is getting ready for training. He's got his last words, final thoughts to get one more workout in here, a good night's sleep. This is the biggest night of his life, so let's let him go and get ready for it. So I turn it over to you, my friend. I want to give you the floor. I want to give you some closing thoughts here. And also, before I get to that, I actually have to get to one more announcement. And Dante Ocara has come in here actually with some good news. That is just in from Nonstop Action Wrestling's management that Fire and Gold has sold out. So it looks like here that we have sold out. So that is certainly a literally right off the presses breaking news. So we have sold out. So after all the hard work, all the shares on Facebook and left and right messages that we have sold out the Be Strong Performance Center here in Swinton, and that's a great job. Hats off to the entire locker room. Hats off to management. Hats off to the fans. And that is a great, great accomplishment. So congratulations to everybody that has made that happen. And thank you, Dante, for that excellent breaking news that you've given us. It is certainly news that has made our day. So I turn it over to you, my friend. In the meantime, obviously, you're a busy man. I want to give you the floor. I want to give you some closing thoughts. Anything that you want to plug, share, say. The floor is yours. Go get him, champ.
Tomorrow at a now sold-out Be Strong Fitness Center in Swinton at the Fire and Gold event, I'm going to give it my all. Every little bit I have left. I'm going to keep going until I can't go no more, because I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to quit. I'm going to do everything in my power to bring that championship home to my nephew, to my girlfriend, to my family. And I'm going to do it in honor of my recently passed grandfather. And I'm going to do it for everyone that was told, no, you can't. We don't want you. And I know I'm the bad guy. I'm the big bad heel. But damn it, as I've just said, I deserve this, and I've damn well earned this moment. Conor Cage, I have nothing but respect for you. I don't like you as a person, but as a wrestler, you have to respect each other for the factor that you get in that ring and you get hurt and you hurt people. That is wrestling. You have to respect your peers, and for that, I do in fact respect you. But I'm sorry for what's going to happen, because you're going to let every single person who believes in you down tomorrow. And then you'll know how much of a failure I felt my entire life until the society found me and gave me this opportunity. Because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Richard Knights, Robert DeCaro, and Remus Kane. I'll admit that. Other than my own God-given abilities, I would not be in this position. But you know what? Like I said, it's time I was selfish. And it's time I say to myself, you deserve this. And I do. And I will become world-class champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, as John Cena famously sang, I got a feeling we're going to be saying, the champ is here. And that is going to be the lawman, Kyle Kennedy, Mr. Sportswire, Kyle Kennedy here. I got a feeling after what we've seen tonight, we have seen him like no other time he's come on here before Sportswire Radio. We are certainly looking forward to, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night, Be Strong Performance Fitness Center, 5:30, the doors open. We are going to see that 8-person tournament here, which Mr. Sportswire is going to be a part of against Conor Cage, and we are going to see some other great matches, including Champ Rogers and Tommy Dillon, Billy O'Keefe and Jackson O'Keefe. Also, we're going to see as well the 12-person Open Invitation Battle Royal, plus much, much more. So a lot to get into. NSAW Wrestling UK for dealers, because now since it's sold out, you're going to just have to wait. If you're not able to, go to YouTube and go to other information. And, of course, we'll get more developments. And we look forward to, in the next few days, bringing you back on, because you are going to be the world champion. And I disagree that the undefeated streak is going nowhere, because it's going to only continue to increase in the record books. It's going to be going somewhere straight to the top. So forget about the failures, forget about the family losses. A new day has started, a promise of a new day. And the fact that Mr. Sportswire, Kyle Kennedy, is going to make history and be that first ever champion. My friend, go get him, get a good night's sleep. Go get one more workout in, do whatever you need to do, and bring that championship home to Sportswire. And I can't wait to see you here soon. I can't wait. So go get him, and congratulations, and early congratulations.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure, Mr. Bryce. Always a pleasure.
All right, as ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the Lawman Kennedy, who is just a few short hours away from his entry into the 8-person tournament for the Nonstop Action Wrestling World Class Title Tournament to crown the company's first ever champion, as he'll be in the ring with Conor Cage. And certainly it's a grudge match, you might want to say, as the Lawman already has one victory over him, but we'll see. I have a good feeling it's going to be 2 for 2 here against Conor Cage, and we're going to see much more from Kyle Kennedy because he is 6-0. It's going to be 9-0 by the time we speak with him next. Company's first ever champion. I am the host of the Sports Report, the station manager here of Sportswire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryce, and we are now joined in here. He is back with us, and that is the scenario, Nathan Gunn. And boy, I was like, wait, and I'm like, is he here? Is he not here? But we have you, and that is certainly before a really big match. I mean, we were speaking with somebody in the Lawman Kyle Kennedy who's on his way to being in a world championship match and winning a world title, but you, my friend, are actually going to be in a match, which I think, and I know I've spoke about it with you, that very well could steal the show. And you and Nick Cutter, it's a match. It's almost a prove me match. You're on a lot of momentum with a couple of big wins. And set the tables for us here coming up next weekend at the Buckshore Village Community Center, and you and Nick Cutter.
Well, it's good to see you again, my man. Yeah. Look, I haven't dealt with Nick Cutter before, have I? So I thought, you know what? Me and Blaze will play some rock, paper, guns. He always falls for it. I bring out guns. Can't deal with it, can he? So, you know, we figured, why not me? And you know, like you said, I'm on a bit of a roll. Us as a team, we're on a roll. So
you guys are on. Listen, I said it before last month. You guys are on a real run right now. You guys are, I think, are on one of the biggest streaks right now in the LWF.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about everyone else. I've been so focused on us. But you might be right. I think maybe we might be on one of the best streaks. We're certainly getting wins, and we're having fun doing it, which is obviously great as well. Because I always feel like
you getting used to winning now. Finally, are you getting used to winning some matches and consecutive matches? And now
it's nice. It's a nice feeling, isn't it?
Feeling, right? It feels nice, right?
Feeling. Yeah, it's like the party afterwards. You know,
you're not
it feels
in
as good as that
territory anymore, right? Feels good, right?
Yeah. I mean, he still looks an angry man to me, but.
Well, what did you think of him last week? He made his debut on Sportswire Radio in camera, live and up close.
Well, I think there's a reason he never showed his face before, but.
Ooh.
Look.
All right.
Bring in the heat. That's what it says.
Speaking of shirts, I have a comment from somebody I'm sure that you know very well. You've been across the apron from quite a bit, and that is Mr. Davey Getsky. He is, of course, the man of the hour in the LWF, and he says, "What is that shirt? It's terrible," because I think he wants you to be wearing his shirt.
Well,
show that on the screen, because I know Mr. Getsky is certainly going to want one of those.
I mean, yeah, I think that's what he's saying. I think that's what it means.
Now, where can we get one of those shirts?
Well, let me tell you. I mean, they're going to be available at the LWF, and I'm going to be sorting something else out for other fine patrons of this beautiful attire.
I certainly would like to be a patron. I certainly would like to get a hold of my own The Scenario Nathan Gunn shirt. So you have to tell us, certainly at some point, where we can eventually, across the pond from people like me, buy one of these shirts.
Oh, you'll 100% be getting one, man. You'll be bringing the heat too.
Oh, I definitely will, and I'll be packing it and some here. I mean, so that's definitely looking forward to that. But I mean, let's come back to Nick Cutter for a second, because obviously Getsky, we'll certainly get into Getsky again. But, you know, as we're getting close to the match, I do feel like in a lot of ways that you guys might steal the show, because in some ways, you and Mr. Cutter are almost like in the same spot where a win here, and I said it last month when you came on, a win here is all of a sudden going to vault you to the top of the discussion. It's going to all of a sudden put you to now, you know what? Nathan Gunn, that's the guy that very well could be the next in line, regardless of how Ronaldo and Getsky fares out, regardless of how the winner is determined and everything else. I feel like you get another win here over Cutter. I mean, you're right there. I mean, I think you'd have the strongest case of anybody in that locker room.
It's hard to argue, isn't it, on the streak that I'm on, and that me and Blaze are on as well. Don't want to take all the credit. I'll just have about 70% of it. But no, I think it's hard to argue if I can beat Nick, but I'm not overlooking him. Like his name might rhyme with gutter, but he's got some talent as Nick Cutter. So
hardy, har, cutter and gutter. Yeah,
yeah, he's got some talent, man. He's
a great
really,
wrestler. I've watched
he's a really
him.
great wrestler.
Listen, we had him on many months ago, and I've seen his work in other companies. I mean, he is legitimately one of those guys that you almost want to build a company around. He's got all the tools. He's got the look. He's got the in-ring ability. I mean, he's really a guy, honestly. I mean, you and him, to me, are on a crash collision course. I think with what you've done, your relationship with the fans, your ability to connect with people, your ability to talk, your ring skills have always been there. And now you've kind of, like I said, I feel like you've turned the corner. I really do. I know you. Listen, I've known you a long time. I've known you over a year, right? I always knew that you had the confidence in your ability. I always knew that you had it in you to go out and put yourself in a position where you are. But for whatever reason, now it's all come to place finally.
Well, yeah, I mean, we took that month off. I think we spoke about it, didn't we?
Yep.
We took that.
That was
month
the
off.
reset button for you, almost.
Yeah, that was the reset button.
You were on remember, you were on commentary even earlier this year. I mean, you were almost, like I said. I mean, I'm not trying to be facetious toward Nate. I love Nate to death. I love Cross, but I felt like in a lot of ways with Nate, at least, you were on like the Nate Reitz run in terms of like you were in there, but you were having a hard time.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And look, I might be on a good run now, but I think a lot of the fans will see this as a 50-50, me and Cutter, even though I'm on a good run, because we know that he's got all the tools. So it's going to be a great match.
Been in, and listen, and Cutter's going to have a lot on his plate, because don't forget, he's going to want to see his brother Davey Getzky win the gold. We're going to certainly want to see what he can do here, obviously, in your match, because he's a guy also that's been in there in the main event. And Davey Getzky here has an interesting comment. He's kind of a funny one. He says, I like how the views have now dropped. Think Nathan needs another reset. No, I think that's because the LWF management work shoot here doesn't do a good enough job, unlike other companies, in terms of promoting their talent when they do big spots like Sportswire Radio. Whereas, some of these other companies, I got to be honest, they do a good job in getting their fans to tune in. I think Mr. Bibby, he's probably getting the hot dog stand ready. That's probably why. That's why the views have dropped.
I think you need to put it up on Instagram. I'll share it. We'll get some of the gun girls in.
I'll share it on Twitter. Obviously, we'll share it on Twitter. But Facebook, unfortunately, so people know, you can't share a link onto Instagram. So that's kind of why the views might have dropped. So that's that's here nor there. But Mr. Getzky says, no, it's just because it's Nathan. Don't lie. But here's something, you know what? Let's spin it back on Davey Getzky. Let's spin it back on, because I saw the
might as well, it keeps popping up, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I saw the package, right? I saw the package last week, and I'll get Davey Getzky on. I definitely want to get Getzky on after the fallout of him and Reynaldo, because I think it's a good time to speak with him, certainly, for sure. But I saw the package when it came to him and Reynaldo, and I think Mr. Getzky maybe bit off a little more than he can chew, because I know that Reynaldo's going to be favoring that leg. I know he's going to be favoring it, but I'm telling you, that video where I saw everything that went down between him and Reynaldo, then I saw Reynaldo afterwards. Something tells me here that Reynaldo's going to really be looking for payback here next Saturday. What do you think?
Well, that's fair, yeah. I think, he's got to hope he's properly done him in, hasn't he? Because otherwise it's going to light that fire under him. Yeah, look, I mean, Ray's tough, a lot tougher than he looks. So
I think his title run, I got to be honest, a lot of people, so we had him on right after he won the title. And I think a lot of people, if you would have asked them, even Mr. Getzky included, would Reynaldo still be the champion right now today on August the 12th? They would have said probably not. But he's been here 8 months as champion. I mean, he's had an impressive run. You cannot take that away from him.
Yeah, fair. I mean, as well as you look at the competition he's beaten, It's a high level
Yeah,
there,
Dan
really high
Evans,
level.
we're talking about Sona Durson. I mean,
Exactly.
certainly
I
Mr.
mean,
Cutter to win the title. I mean, these are some big opponents. I mean, he didn't just face Johnny Come Latelys, boxcar Iras off the street, as they would famously say in the Simpsons episode when Homer was training to be a boxer. I mean, listen, Reynaldo's had the best of the best in there. I mean, you can't argue with
100%.
that.
100%. And look, as much as I hate him, David Getsky's one of those best of the best.
Absolutely. I would never
I
take
mean,
that away from him. Getsky, I would not take away his ring ability, the look he's on right now. I mean, there's no question that I kind of feel like these guys are on a crash collision course. It's almost kind of why, like, Getsky's lurking like a shark almost. He literally is lurking.
yeah, he's not Jaws though. He's abs, isn't he? No, he's look, man's got talent. Man's got talent. But I mean, I would like to point out, Tom. I mean, you know this. What happened last time Gunn met Getsky?
I recall correctly. I recall that the scenario outcome was that Nathan Gunn got the job done.
Nathan Gunn did get the job done. So look, I think my boy Ray is going to deal with him. No matter how good he is, no matter how many tricks he has up his sleeve, I think he's gonna get the job done as our guy Ray. So that's my prediction.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I got a soft spot for Ronaldo. I gotta be honest. I have a soft spot for him. So obviously, we'll see what happens here. But we are on Sportswire Radio here with the return of almost the third man of our LWF Power Hour here on Sportswire Radio. That is the scenario Nathan Gunn. Although we are shorthanded this week because the Acid Stephen Cross we haven't had on in a while because he's got a huge match tomorrow at Future Shock Pro Wrestling. Really intriguing match because he's going to be across the ring from the natural born fighter RP Davis and the Ronin Brian Adenson. And obviously want to give a huge congratulations to RPD because RPD now is engaged. And certainly what a way to pull that off. Although I thought at this point the natural born fighter RP Davis would have probably figured out to do something the way he did. But obviously congratulations to him and his obviously beautiful fiance, and obviously excited to see what he does in the future. And we'll see the Acid Stephen Cross in the ring against those individuals there. And I am the host of the Sports Report, the station manager here, Sportswire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryce. And if you like what you hear from us here on Sportswire Radio, I highly encourage that you do give us a like on Facebook at Sportswire Radio. Almost up to 500 followers now on Facebook. So I want to thank everybody that continues to follow. Also go to sportnarium.com/player for all of the great shows that we play. We pretty much play everything at this point. We play music, we play talk, we play sports, we play even wrestling that we stream. So obviously so much here at Sportswire Radio that we do. Check us out anytime at sportnarium.com/player. And we have more LWF coverage Monday night because the mysterious Mr. B is in the house. He's going to be here at 8 o'clock British Standard Time. So you don't know what he's going to say. You never know because he's mysterious. So I certainly am excited about that. And also, we will have on the unforgettable Andre Decker right afterwards. And Mr. Decker, I got a message for you because, you were supposed to come on last night. And I know Mr. Getsky knows Mr. Decker very well. Mr. Decker was supposed to come on, but apparently he thought he was too big. He was too Hollywood for Sportswire Radio, and he decided he wasn't coming on. But now he has decided that he wants to come back on Monday. So we're going to get him on 9 o'clock finally. We're going to talk about everything he's done. We last saw him in the ring in Odyssey Pro Wrestling. He got a victory over Big Guns Joe. We've certainly seen him in the spotlight. Apparently the spotlight's gotten to his head. Apparently Chris Brooker has gotten to his head. Apparently he's too big for his own britches. So we'll now get him on Monday night. We'll see what Mr. Decker's got to say, and we'll see. That'll be a very explosive show. So I look forward to everybody tuning in right after the mysterious Mr. B. And also want to give a huge shout out, as I promised before I get to Mr. Getsky, to my very good friend, Mr. Josh Bailey, who passed his commercial driver's license. He is now a CDL licensed driver. So I want to give him a huge congratulations. I forgot to mention that. So I have been a bad friend the last couple of days because he was like, I listened to all your shows on Sportswire Radio and can you give me a shout out? So I wanted to make sure I give Josh Bailey a congratulations on him passing his CDL. He is now a licensed commercial driver. So thank you for that. But Mr. Getsky has a message. Let's get to that. He says, last message for me, but the difference between me and Nathan is that I go in with the mindset that I'm winning, and Nathan just hopes he wins. Also, Future Shock is Sunday. Yeah, I realized that it's Sunday, not tomorrow, so I do apologize, Mr. Getsky. So Thank you for correcting me on that, and I certainly will make a note of that. But do you want to respond to what Mr. Getsky had to say towards you?
Well, he's wrong. It's not the first time, won't be the last. I go in with the mindset of winning. Of course I do. I have respect for my opponent, unlike David Getsky. That's the difference between us. That's the true difference. I respect Cota's ability. It doesn't mean I go in there thinking, oh, I'll probably lose. I don't think that at all. I go in there thinking, okay, let's get this job done, like I have done for the past couple of months. Mindset hasn't changed. It's just I respect my opponents. That's the simple facts. Though, I don't know if I respect all my opponents. Getsky's a little on the fence, but
I see. Okay.
Yeah, that's the real difference between us. That and the cool merch.
Oh, I tell you what, that merchandise, I can't wait for getting one of those merchandises very, very soon because
I will sort you out, mate. Don't you worry.
I shouldn't do this. I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for this, but because I have so many wrestling T-shirts on Sportswire Radio, I have so many that I wear. I actually got in the mail another shirt from another wrestler. So I have to say at this point, I just purchased another shirt. So at this point, I think the running joke is going to be your shirt's going to be one of those in the mail I'm going to get and I'm going to wear. So at this point, I've had so many shirts in the mail when it comes to pro wrestling that at this point, all I have to do is wear wrestling shirts. I don't need anything. People ask me, they say, well, what's your wardrobe like? And I say, honestly, it's just wrestling shirts because literally at this point, I have so many wrestling shirts that I lost count. And this shirt here, which I should pull up because I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for this, but frigate. This is from Killjoy from Nonstop Action Wrestling, and now he is going to be a part of things at GT Ministries. And while I'm not going to wear his shirt on the air because I don't think I could rip it off right now because it's one of those like cookie plastic shirts where you got to probably like a box cutter or something, I will be glad to wear his shirt when he comes on next Friday. But I look forward to having one of your shirts and get it through Pro Wrestling Tees because Pro Wrestling Tees, what's great about them is that I can get it in the States. I can get it within a week. I have a recent Rogan shirt somewhere that took me like a month to get. So whatever you do, if you do get that shirt lined up, make sure you do it through Pro Wrestling Tees because that way I can get the shirt in like a week. So, and I think you get like a bigger profit on your return. But we'll figure all that out here. But let's come back to Cutter, and I want to ask you this question. And I mean, is this the biggest match of your career upcoming?
It's up there. I've had title matches elsewhere. They've been big. Me and Getsky the first time. That felt big. It was at Slamaganza. There was a real anticipation in the crowd. But it's right up there with them. There's a lot riding on it. Like you said, if I manage to beat Kurt, I mean, I've got to be in the picture, haven't I? Singles wise. So there's a lot riding on it, but I think that makes it better. I think I'm feeling really, really motivated because in those big match moments, I failed in the past, and I really want to ensure that I don't this time. So it's a big fight feel, but I'm hoping that brings the best out in Gunn.
And if you like what you hear from the serial Nathan Gunn, please give him a follow on Instagram at Pro Nathan Gunn because I'm telling you, this is a guy you want to follow. He definitely brings the party, but right now we're focused on him. And again, one of the biggest matches of his career. But you said a couple different things, and I want to go back to one of them. And obviously, you've fallen short a couple of different times in big matches. So going into next weekend, do you do anything differently in order to avoid those outcomes in previous big matches?
I think I don't deviate from the current strategy because it's definitely working. Like I said, when we took the time off, like you said, we did commentary and then we took a month off. That was after our tag title defeat, which I guess is another moment where we didn't quite get over the line. Big match where we and I failed. But I don't think we deviate from what we've changed. I've had a couple of singles wins since we've come back with a new kind of game plan, a new kind of strategy. And we've had some tag wins as well. So, we haven't lost since we've come back. And I haven't lost since we've come back. So I think I don't change anything. I respect Nick Kerr. And I'm going to give it my absolute all, like I've been doing every other match. Let's not change anything. Hopefully the outcome doesn't change either.
All right, let me ask you then this question, because you made a couple of great points. And I agree with you that since you guys have come back, it's been a different feel. It's been different results, all that stuff here. But when it comes to a match like this, and now that we're going into a week from the Buckshaw Village Community Center, the week going into this, do you keep the same approach in terms of training and mental mindset? I mean, it still is a big match. Like you said, there's a big match feel here. There's no question that it feels different. I've had you on many, many times. But this feels different, even from last month when you came on, because now we're here. Now we're here. The match has been announced between you and Conor. We knew something big was going to happen, but now we see it. Do you, in the leading up to this, the weekend, do you do anything different at all? Do you keep the same mindset? I mean, walk me through that.
I think, I keep the same mindset. Look, yeah, big match feel, but I feel like you approach it like I approached every other match. I feel like that's the strategy, because I feel like if I change something, you can end up changing too much. Do you know what I mean? I think I obviously have one eye on Wrecking Crew strategies. It's a bit different when you fight the Wrecking Crew. As you know, they play the numbers game and they play the odds.
Yep.
That's fair.
Yep.
But that's why, as you've probably seen on the match graphic, I asked Conrad Blaze to make sure he's there. So we're already ready for whatever attempted shenanigan Nick Cutter tries to pull. Hopefully their plates are too full elsewhere. Obviously, they're all in action. But it's the Wrecking Crew, so you can't be too careful. You never know who they align themselves with the mercenary squad once upon a time, so you never know, do you? So that, I guess, that's strat wise is a change, but no, otherwise I hit the parties. I hang with the Gun Girls. I do my thing.
Listen, the Gun Girls, let me just say this before I get to a friend of mine, a great supporter of mine, dear friend. The Gun Girls, I've seen what the Gun Girls look like. I mean, the Gun Girls, they're good looking, ladies and gentlemen. Not only they're good looking, they're great looking. That's why you need shirts. But let me get to a very good friend of mine. That is Mr. Jamie Sanders. Jamie is a huge wrestling fan. In fact, I went with Jamie to a show in New York about 2 weeks ago for a company called House of Glory. We went to a student showcase show out here in Queens, and Jamie looks like he's one of those guys. He's got a martial arts background. I keep telling Jamie to convince his wife to allow him to train and become a professional wrestler, because Jamie's got that look. He's well-spoken. He's got charisma. He's got a certain persona. He would fit in very well with the scenario Nathan Gunn. And, of course, Jamie, I'm surprised he's still with us, because I'm surprised he can even hear, because he was at the Rage Against the Machine show last night at Madison Square Garden. So certainly I was definitely envious of Jamie, because he was sending videos to myself and my very good friend Anthony Finkel, another huge wrestling fan, and we were seeing all those packages of Tom Morello and Zach De La Rocha, the singer of the band, and obviously definitely it was a guerrilla radio-like experience there, and it was killing in the name of Jamie Sanders when it came to Rage Against the Machine. So I want to thank Jamie for all of his support and all of his friendship over the past several years. In fact, little known fact, Jamie was trying to run at one time to be a United States congressman, but then he decided that he's too important, and that's here and there. But Mr. Getsky says, can you call out my friend Tim for no reason as well?
Look, he's a jerk, man. He's a jerk, innit? I mean, let's not mess around. You're calling out your friend who's partying hard, and I respect that. And he comes out with that because he's a jerk, man. But look, we've rubbed it in his face the last time he fought me, Gun won, so we can move on from his terrible comments.
Well, he's
got this amazing card.
And it's funny, Mr. Getsky said last message from me, but he came back, so it's almost like he couldn't help himself. It was almost like, remember when Mr. Getsky was saying, oh, it was going to be this nice guy referee, and then right afterwards, at the end of the show, he just beats up everybody, including the Los Lancadores. I mean, so I mean,
Well, look, you can't, mate. I've been in a feud with him for about 15 years. You can't get rid of him.
I feel like last year at this time I was speaking about you and Davey Getsky. This year at this time I'm speaking about you and Davey Getsky, and probably next year at this time when he's speaking about you and Davey Getsky. It's almost like in perpetual motion. It's you and Davey Getsky in perpetual motion here. So I mean, I just feel like that's till the end of time. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's like a film in it, isn't there? I don't know, like a buddy cop thing we could do. I
does
don't
it
know.
ever end though? But films eventually have an end. Films
Yeah.
do. I feel like what are we going toward at this point?
12 sequels. That's what we'll go for
I
now.
don't know at this point. I mean, I guess it's here nor there, but obviously, listen, I mean, I think you and Cutter, there's a lot on the line here. We've spoken about many of those different things. And also, I wanted to bring up this point in the fact that, I mean, you win this match. And for you and Conrad, I mean, do you guys say, you know what? Do you go to management and say, hey, I want a shot at the next show against whoever the champion is? I mean, do you guys do that or no?
I think, I've always been kind of just let the wrestling do the talking.
You've
That's always
always
been my
been that.
approach.
You've been laid back. There's no
And look,
question.
I've had a couple of shots at gold, but I don't think I've been in such a good solo run for a long time. So I mean, look, it's crossed my mind, but I don't think I go in there demanding. I think I just I sit down with Mr. Bibby. I give him a shot. We have a couple of drinks. We'll have a little chat. But I don't think it's anything nefarious. I don't think it's me going, I need a title shot now. I think it's me saying, look, I've got a couple of wins. Give me somebody else. I'll prove it with another win here or another win there. That's the kind of mindset maybe going forward. But look, I can't look too far ahead because I can't look past Ocara, obviously.
All right, let me ask you this question then before we get to closing thoughts and a few other things. We're with pro wrestling star here, the scenario Nathan Gunn, who's just about a week or so away from his huge match at the Buckshaw Village Community Center against Nick Cutter of the Wrecking Crew. And of course, if you like what you hear from the LWF, give them a follow on Instagram at the LWF Wrestling, LWF Law on Twitter. Also like the Facebook page the LWF has and the YouTube page for all LWF related content, whether it's Monday Night Mutiny or videos, interviews, you name it, the LWF has it. And also, we'll be back with more LWF coverage Monday night with the mysterious Mr. B. So excited about all of that. I am the host of the Sports Report and the station manager here at Sportswire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryce. But when it comes to dealing with the Wrecking Crew, and we spoke a lot about Reynaldo, but do you speak to people like Synergy? Do you speak to Shining Wizard? Do you speak to anybody else that has dealt with the Wrecking Crew maybe for advice on how to prepare for Cutter or maybe any outside tactics?
Well, yeah, I had a quick word with Aton Steen. Obviously, he's fought Cutter, and that was a great match.
Absolutely.
So I had a quick word with him. Obviously, we're old friends. I wanted to kind of get his perspective on it. And yeah, I've had a quick chat to Wizard about maybe how to approach things with the Wrecking Crew. Obviously, we tagged with Wizard last show, so backstage when we were obviously celebrating, we had a couple of quick chats, a couple of quick shots. That was the order. But here and there. But I think I have a wealth of experience, upsettingly, with the Wrecking Crew. Obviously, in particularly Davey Getsky. I don't know if would you call him their de facto leader, or are they just a group of? Is anyone in charge? I don't know. You know what I mean? But maybe you could call it Getsky. But the way I kind of see it is that I know them all really well. So you've just got eyes in the back of your head. Eyes in the back of your head. That's the way I go when I deal with the Wrecking Crew. That's why Blaze is there.
Absolutely. Now, listen, I mean, I think that there's no question that we've talked about the numbers game. We know about the fact that everything that we've seen the Wrecking Crew do over the past just about 9 or 10 months with Getsky, Stone, and Cutter. And certainly, again, they're going to be looking for a landscape to change. Listen, conversely, there's a lot of pressure on them because we know that the landscape can change here in the LWF significantly here, because we could see Getsky as the champion here, and that's a big, big thing. We could obviously see Cutter getting a win over you. could definitely change things. I mean, there's a lot that's on the line here. I mean, obviously tag titles could change. I mean, there's a lot. Listen, the Wrecking Crew, listen, they could be the dominant faction again. They could be the one that holds the gold here. And so, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Obviously,
I mean, like 100%. You know, Stone could beat Steen, Cutter could beat me, Getski could be champ. What a night that could be. But the reverse of that is they could all lose. So there is pressure on them.
Yeah, no, I think there's no question that, listen, the pressure is on. But listen, sometimes it works both ways in wrestling. The pressure, it works, and it helps you get motivated. It gives you a second win. And sometimes pressure, people kind of cave into it. I remember famously as a little kid, there was a basketball player. He got 4 shots at the free throw line for whatever reason, and he was in the NBA Finals, and he missed all 4 shots, and he was never the same as a player after that. He was never the same. So it can go both ways. I mean, I was just talking about before you went on the air, guy Lex Luger. There was the Lex Luger documentary. He could never win the big one. He never quite won those big matches. I mean, so some wrestlers kind of fold under the pressure. Others, they get the job done. Something tells me, though, the scenario Nathan Gunn is going to be one of those that gets the job done, and he's going to start that party like there's no tomorrow. We're going to continue this momentum on the run that he's been here. But before I get to closing thoughts here, because I know we're obviously getting late here on Sportswire Radio, and it's always a party to have you here. And I wanted to ask you then, before we get closing thoughts, first on what do you want to say in your final words to Nick Cutter?
I mean, what can I say to Nick Cutter, really? I haven't constantly said to the Wrecking Crew. Look, I mean, Getski kind of touched on me not having like a winning mentality earlier. And like I said, that's not the case. I can tell Cutter to bring his A game, bring his dirty tricks. Like I said, Conrad Blaze is there to do it. But he better bring his A game. Because look, I'm on this roll. And I intend to continue this roll, and who knows where it could lead us. Not just me, myself and Blaze, mate. You know, clean sweep of titles. That'd be beautiful, I tell you. So, you know, let's see where it leads us. So he better bring his A game.
I could certainly see why. Listen, Nathan Gunn right now on the run that he is on. Like I said, it's one of the more premier streaks in all of the LWF here. And I wanted to also ask you, and what do you want to say to anybody who's coming next Saturday, or anybody that might be thinking about coming, but they heard about the match here, and they're going to hear the card on Monday, obviously more from Mr. B. But just overall, what do you want to say to anybody that's coming to the Buckshot Village Community Center, or anybody that's thinking about coming after hearing you speak about your match against Nick Cutter?
Well, stop thinking about coming and come.
I know, right? But there's
That'd be
always
the first
somebody
thing.
out there. Listen, we just had on somebody from Nonstop Action Wrestling, Mr. Sportswire, aka the Lawman Kennedy. And we literally got the news that they had somebody buy a ticket, and their show tomorrow night got sold out. So you never know. There's somebody out there that can buy a ticket after this.
No, well, that would be my first message, but my second message would be, look at that card that's already announced. I mean, we've barely touched on it, but it's match of the night contender every single match.
Oh, I mean, listen, the entire card. I mean, you're thinking about, obviously, Reynaldo and Getski we spoke about. We spoke about, obviously, Shining Wizard in their match against the Worst. I mean, that's always, anything with Isaiah Quinn, I mean, that's always an intriguing match. You got Helena Razor and KT Hawkins. That's going to be a grudge match of grudge matches. They've had a huge history.
Gotta be the end.
How about Chris Stone and Aton Steen? I mean, Chris Stone and Aton Steen, that's going to be, I mean, a big match. I mean, that you think about, there's going to be a lot in the line there, because Shining Wizard and Wrecking Crew in terms of their relationship. And I mean, there's going to be a lot of great matches here. I mean, there's so many. How about Lachlan Sharp and Rob Drake? I mean, that's another match of the night contender. I mean, you got so many bangers here. I mean, you got, listen, the women's tag match. I mean, I could go on all day about the matches. But if you haven't followed the LWF on Instagram at the LWF Wrestling, LWF though on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, going to the LWF pages, you clearly, something's wrong with you.
I completely agree. I mean, I don't want to shame people, but something is wrong with you. So, get following, get your tickets. I'm sure they're selling quite well. I mean, some guns on the show, you know what I mean?
No, they're definitely selling well. Listen, at the end of the day, let your hearts not be troubled. I have a very, very good feeling that this is, listen, the LWF shows are always some of the best shows in all of wrestling. The LWF, the talent that the company has, the roster. I say it all the time. Wrestlers ask me left and right. And I always say that the LWF, its biggest strength is its roster, whether it's through the academy, whether it's through the mix of wrestlers that we have. The roster is as good as anybody's. That's, to me, the LWF's biggest feather in its cap. Other things, ask me about, I might give you a different opinion. But the LWF roster and LWF shows are like no other shows, whether it's Monday Night Mutiny, whether it's our show coming up here with Summersmash. So many great things here. And, of course, the scenario Nathan Gunn is going to be a huge part of it here with a match that I think is going to be a banger. It's going to be a match of the night. We're excited about all of that. But obviously, my friend, I know you're a busy man. You got parties to attend to. And I certainly want to give you the floor. I want to give you some closing thoughts and anything you want to plug or say. And I turn it over to you, and I'm sure you are going to a party here shortly with some Gun Girls, and I know you're working on that shirt and for us to get it here. So I turn it over to you, my friend, and the floor is yours, and fire away.
I think I already plugged the shirt about 15 times, so we can leave
Only
that.
15 more.
But no, like I said, stop thinking about it. Come down to the show. It's a great venue, great card. Come watch. Hopefully a Wrecking Crew implosion. I'm hoping for a clean sweep. I'm hoping a Ray, Steen, and me victory. And yeah, hopefully if that happens, David Getsky will show up for a bit, and we can all have a peaceful interview. I'd love to just come on here and talk to you, friend to friend, but I never quite get that, do I?
Yeah, to be fair, it's never friend to friend here on Sportswire. When is it ever? Listen, I know you catch some of these things, whether it's different guys in the LWF or different wrestlers. When is it ever a friendly fireside chat? These things are never. You know that the people don't want to see me and you just agree and laugh all day. They don't want that. Listen, no.
I disagree. I think they want to see us partying. That's what they want to see.
Well, I think that I would like to see myself partying. I think I would like to see myself with some of those Gun Girls. But unfortunately, right now, we're on Facebook Live, and we're on Twitter Live, we're on YouTube Live, we're on LinkedIn Live, and we're on sportnarium.com/player, our flagship, and I don't think people are really seeing me party, but they know you're going to party. They know that you're going to be with a lot of the girls. They know you're going to have a great time, but they know, most importantly, that next Saturday at the Buckshore Village Community Center, now less than 200 hours from now, you are going to give a beating to Nick Cutter. You are going to continue your winning streak, your momentum, and propel yourself into the next tier of things here in the LWF. That's what they know.
They're
Billion Bart. Listen,
they call Billion Bart, and I tell you what, they're looking to put out.
Listen, you're
That's
going
what
to
they're
be
looking for.
Billion Bart like no tomorrow, like nobody else will here. So I am very, very excited about the future here. But my friend, I know you're a busy man. Obviously, a lot to get into here. I can't thank you enough as always for coming on. I look forward to having you on here maybe after the match, after the week of next week coming, and we can speak more about it, and of course, a lot more here. And we got to get you and Nate Reese, I think, on one of these days together. I think we got to get you and Nate Reese. We got to figure that out, and maybe
that will upset him because I beat him the other week.
Well, that's true. Well, you know what? Bob Costin's beat him. We can't talk Costin. We can't talk you. Cross, it seems like, still doesn't know what he wants to do in that situation. So I don't know at this point. So, I mean, we'll have to figure something out here. But in the meantime, go get him. Knock him dead. Bring home another victory. Looking forward to speaking with you here soon. And I can't wait to see what the mysterious Mr. B has for us Monday night.
God, he's handsome. Anyway, I'll catch you later, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here on Sportswire Radio with the scenario Nathan Gunn, who is 1 week away from his huge grudge match against Nick Cutter of the LWF's Wrecking Crew. And, of course, the LWF's next event, Summersmash, will be at the Buckshore Village Community Center, where you will see the main event featuring Davey Getsky and Reynaldo for that World Championship, plus a grudge match between Rob Drake and Lachlan Sharp. And you'll also see Eitan Steen and Chris Stone, and Helena Razor and KT Hawkins, Shining Wizard versus The Worst, and much, much more. So for more details, go to the LWF LWF Wrestling, and on Instagram and Twitter, LWF The, YouTube, Facebook, LWF for more information. And I am the host of the Sports Report, the station manager here of Sportswire Radio. The Reverend Tom Bryce will be back here Friday night here, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time in New York, 2:30 UK time with the Sportswire Radio gang. So looking forward to that. And thank you, everybody. I am the host of the Sports Report, the station manager again. And thank you to Nathan Gunn of the LWF. We'll be back here in a few hours. We'll be back on Monday night with the unforgettable Andre Decker and also the mysterious Mr. B. I promise you, you won't want to miss any of that. Thank you.